Danielle Festa has painted for as long as she can remember. After college, she decided to become an artist full-time.
I just knew I had to lean fully into it because then I would live with regret.
In 2021, Danielle had a shocking talk with her cousin, one that turned her world upside down.
She was abused as a child, sexually assaulted, and it was from within the family, and it it was such a shock to me, to my mom, to our family.
Full of emotions, Danielle saw an opportunity.
When she cut her hair off and just had this glow about her, I was like, can I paint that? Because that, to me, feels like hope.
She took her frustration out on the canvas, splashing paint on a dark background. Her cousin sits in stark contrast, glowing in a bright white and gold outfit they chose together.
Just like a real human being, it feels like the light does play into her skin textures.
Yeah.
In Danielle's gallery and on social media, the portrait started getting attention.
The amount of people that were reaching out to me and the impact it was having, I knew I needed to establish it as a nonprofit.
That nonprofit, the Aplomb Project. The mission, paint those affected by a hard past and bring out their strength through color, light, and imagination.
During the trauma they've been through, choice was not on the table. So to have it back in their hands as much as possible is so important to me.
For Danielle's subjects, the process starts with a conversation, like the one she and Jenny Tibbetts shared.
I drove out to Foley Beach near Charleston, South Carolina, where I was stationed, and sat on the beach and tried to take my own life.
Jenny's canvas weaves together elements of their past.
I love the way you replicated the pattern on the shirt. The level of detail is unreal.
Thank you.
Danielle uses real fabric in her work, taking pieces of clothing, garments, and other materials important to the subject.
You have to embrace the change. You have to embrace both and, which is the good things that happen in your world, but also embracing the trauma.
For Aleka Monroe, the trauma is still active. She faces the possibility of becoming a dialysis patient as she fights autoimmune diseases.
People tell me oftentimes, Aleka, you're just so positive about it. And not all the time. I have my times where I cry and frustrated and angry.
Danielle and Aleka wanted to highlight strength from within, turning Aleka's cane, Grace, into a weapon to fight against her disease. It was a reflection that took a moment to see when she saw her portrait for the first time.
I remember the feeling of, well, I wanted to touch it. It was the first, like, is that real? But it really was, my thought was, that's me? That's me.
Lissa Curtis knows that moment well.
Oh my gosh, that's so pretty.
In her portrait, the ballerina is vibrant after years of pushing through dark circumstances.
I was raped and sexually assaulted by a former ballet coach of mine. I was overseas in a foreign country. I didn't think I would make it home. And I did. I escaped with my life.
A liberation for Lissa, coming out in bold pink and teal, and a gift she won't soon forget.
And I look at this and I just see this woman who's like who's overcome like the darkness. Like it's not a part of my life anymore.
Nevin Brown is waiting to see his portrait for the first time.
I just want to be able to experience that moment because that moment is going to be brief and nothing else is going to feel like that.
Danielle asked Nevin if he would take part in the project, tapping into his own past as an adopted child in a white community.
There was early abuse and neglect that I don't think anybody intended for.
He's looking forward to becoming a member of a different community.
There are some people that are going to struggle with that, and there are some people that have gotten past those struggles, and you could benefit from engaging with people that have gotten past those struggles. They may be able to help.
Danielle is familiar with trauma herself. She was diagnosed with breast cancer in April 2024.
Nobody expects that call.
She says her art has become a way to deal with her ongoing pain.
It was like, if this is supposed to happen, I know I can handle it now because I have this incredible support system.
Construction is underway for a new space for the Aplomb Project in Dover.
That's what makes me very excited about this new opportunity, is that I think I'm going to start to see people coming into the space that didn't know they needed to be there.
People like the ones who have already found their way to Danielle, shedding light on their darkness.
The more we speak to the things that are painful, the more opportunity there is to repair and heal and be authentic.